Hello everyone. If you've clicked on this video, you might be experiencing fear, anxiety, or stress. And I would like to tell you that you don't have to feel that way. I understand that everyone's end of the world is their end of the world. We cannot compare our stress, our fears, our anxieties to others. Because if we do that, in our first world problems kind of way, because we're watching this video on YouTube, none of our problems really matter. But they matter to us. And our end of the world is the end of the world for us, despite whether we've gone through more difficult things in the past. All these different little things that happen in our lives cause us to have different fears, different anxieties, different worries, and different stresses. But we don't have to feel this way. There is a biblical remedy to our fears and anxieties. And this can be found in Philippians 4, 6, and 7, where it says, "Do not be anxious about anything, but in everything, by prayer and supplication, with thanksgiving, let your requests be made known to God, and the peace of God that surpasses all understanding will guard your hearts and minds in Christ Jesus." So the verse says very simply, do not be anxious about anything. Don't worry about anything. There's nothing to fear. Don't be stressed. Just calm down. It's the very biblical way of saying, just chill out, okay? Present your requests to God through prayer and supplication. Supplication just means to make a humble request, to make a humble prayer, to ask with earnesty, okay? This is also repeated in 1 Peter 5:7, where it says, "Cast all your anxieties or cares on Him because He cares for you." So basically, God is just telling us, what's your problem? Give it to me. You don't have to carry it alone. Give it to me. I can help you. But we have to tell Him about them through prayer and supplication. This verse continues by saying, through prayer and supplication with thanksgiving. This allows us to start to think about the things in our life that we can be grateful for. Maybe that's the food we eat, the roof over our head, maybe people in our lives who we care about, who we enjoy spending time with. Maybe it's our work, maybe it's our free time hobbies. Whatever it is, we can also think about those things, and we need to acknowledge those in our prayers and be thankful for them. This gratefulness and thankfulness shifts our minds. It shifts the posture of our heart from being upset to being grateful, okay? Through this process of prayer and supplication, then it says, the peace of God that surpasses all understanding will guard your hearts and minds in Christ Jesus. And I do think that this peace that surpasses all understanding is something similar to what is spoken about in Romans 12:2, where it says, "Do not be conformed to this world, but be transformed by the renewal of your mind, that by testing you may discern what is the will of God, what is good and acceptable and perfect." So this peace of God that kind of comes over us as we are praying about the things that worry us, offering up moments and things that we are grateful for, these are things that allow our mind to shift. This is the peace that surpasses all understanding coming over us and allows us to feel like a state of calm. Because when we think about things that we're grateful for, it allows that kind of transformation of the heart posture, as I said. So if I were to put this into like a 3-step process, the first step is to pray about everything. Cast your cares onto God. Tell Him what you are worried about. What is stressing you out? What are you afraid of? What's keeping you up at night? Why you can't sleep? Give all those things to God. You are not meant to do this life on your own. And then also offer up your gratitudes. What are you thankful for? What are you grateful for? Allowing ourselves, like I said, to reflect on those things allows our hearts to shift. When our hearts shift, we enter into this space where the peace of God that surpasses all understanding comes upon us. The peace of God that surpasses all understanding is going to guard our hearts and minds in Christ Jesus. So when we think about Philippians 4, 6, and 7, usually we stop there. But the shift of focus also continues in Philippians 4, 8, where it says, "Finally, brothers, whatever is true, whatever is honorable, whatever is pure, whatever is lovely, whatever is commendable, if there is any excellence, if there is anything worthy of praise, think about those things." So this is reinforcing that posture of a grateful heart. To think about the things in your life that are going well. To think about the things in your life that you are grateful for. Because yes, many things can be going wrong, but also there are many things we can be thankful for. One thing that I always like to be thankful for is my legs. I am so grateful that I have legs that are strong, that can run, that can walk, that can do all sorts of different activities. And it may sound like a really silly thing, but being grateful for your legs, it's beautiful. It's a beautiful thing. There are many other verses that also kind of reinforce this sort of mindset shift. And those are Colossians 3:2, "Set your mind on things above, not on things that are on earth." Ephesians 4:23, "Be renewed by the spirit of your mind." Even the Old Testament states in Proverbs 4:23 to guard your heart, for everything you do flows from it. So there are some arguments that can be made that when the Bible refers to the heart, it is also referring to the brain. So when the Bible refers to the heart, it's kind of like the emotional side of us, okay? And how we feel emotionally about certain things. When it refers to the mind, it kind of refers to the more logical aspects of our brain. That's why I think it's important that in Philippians 4:7 it mentions, "Will guard your hearts," so the emotional parts of you, "and mind," the logical parts of you, "in Christ Jesus." So both parts of you are going to be guarded here, to be protected. So it's important that we don't make any big decisions when we are kind of in this fear state, when we're in this emotional state of anxiety, fear, and stress. Because when we make decisions from this point of view or from this particular state, they usually don't end well. I know I can think about some times in my life when I have made really big decisions, big life-changing decisions out of a state of fear, out of a state of stress or worry, and they didn't end well. I mean, everything kind of works out in the end because that's just how things usually can turn out. But I have often been thinking about, especially recently, because I made these big decisions also in October, and I really regret them, and I think about how my life would have been different if I had made a different decision and I didn't simply respond out of emotion. And I'm kind of in a place now where I have a lot of emotions happening, a lot of big worries, a lot of big fears, a lot of big anxieties. And I have some decisions I feel like I have to make. And I don't think it's good to make those decisions based on fear. So instead of making any decisions, because my life is not in danger, okay, then it's a time when you can make a big decision. My life is not in danger. I don't need to make any decisions right now. And instead, I can present all my fears, all my worries, all my anxieties to God. I can be thankful for the things I have. So then the peace of God that surpasses all understanding can guard my heart and mind. So maybe you're also in kind of a similar situation. I feel like the fall tends to bring out a lot of big emotions. You know, we just went through the time change, it's going to get darker sooner, the weather's getting colder, the days are getting shorter, and it just feels like there's a lot of emotional energy kind of in the air. So if you're also feeling that, I understand. If you've made it this far in the video, thank you so much for watching. I hope you are having a fantastic day wherever you are in the world. I hope that you can also be reminded that we don't have to make decisions based on fear. We don't have to hold on to all of our worries and anxieties, and we don't have to go through this life alone. So again, I hope you're having a fantastic day. Thank you so much for watching, and until next time, bye.